moving on to a different subject. You've said that you would cancel or not go through with the Green Lane landfill deal. Is that right?
I think that was Mr. LeDrew.
Oh, okay. So
I didn't say cancel it, no.
okay, so what is your policy on the Green Lane landfill? Well, it's the first part of my question. I guess you've supported a waste-to-energy facility as an alternative to that. The New and Emerging Technologies Committee that met at City Hall while you were chair of the Works Committee, I think, reported that such a facility would take, given all the environmental and financial due diligence involved, about 10 years to build. The Michigan border is closing in 4 years, so without Green Lane, I'm wondering what the plan would be.
First of all, I just feel that burying any garbage, which is a resource, in the ground is wrong. It's old-fashioned, it's medieval, and no one else is doing it. We have 60% right now of our waste that's going to Michigan. That's about 600,000 tons. What I think should happen, even though we always know we're going to need some kind of landfill, I'd like to have an exit plan so that if we go ahead with this purchase of Green Lane, we can tell our neighbors in the London area that we're going to be out by 2000, that we'll have everything out except maybe 15% by 2012. My concern, if we just slide back and start procrastinating and say, okay, we've got our solution, that's it, it is going to lessen our ability or our motivation to go forward with the clean energy from waste solution. And I know now the majority of people in the city support that. I can tell you every municipality in the 905 is moving ahead with it. And I guess what frustrates me, the group that you've referred to that met for 22 months, they said to reach 94% free of landfill, you need thermal technology. What I wanted to do and what we were poised to do is start some small research scale facilities so that while the EA was being done, we could test it on Toronto's soil, let people sniff it, look at it, satisfy themselves that this does the trick, it provides energy, but it also is safe. Because why would we ever build something now in 2006 that's environmentally unsafe? And I can tell you what I'm fascinated with is something in Sault Ste. Marie. I learned about it through U of T, and this is the way it works. It is thermal, but it never creates dioxins or furans. And this would be after we recycle to the maximum and compost to the maximum. And there's a lot more. Rod Muir knows this, and I admire the work he's done. He and I agree, there's a lot more we should be pulling out that shouldn't be recycled, and I do think we need to look at a bag tag.
Okay. I have another question on a related subject, I guess. Outside of the possible environmental concerns that some people have that you've just addressed, critics of gasification and other waste-to-energy solutions point out two things. One, that such facilities, when you build a big infrastructure piece that can handle a certain capacity, they undermine recycling programs that encourage separation at the source, and also that they cost up to twice as much per ton to operate as a landfill. So I'm wondering, how do you plan to ensure that they don't act as a disincentive to the sort of diversion programs you're talking about, and how are we going to pay for it?
Okay. First of all, I think it's important to have accurate information, and I think that when we have sort of educated or we have asked the people of Toronto to do their best with the recycling and the composting, that it would be a step backwards to all of a sudden take everything and throw it into a facility. So that's never been my intention. I'm only interested in what's called the residue, but I'd rather, again, have clean energy from waste, where we're getting energy from it, we're getting revenue from it, we're lighting and heating homes, than just having it buried in the ground, which, by the way, with the Aboriginal people, who I'm very close with, they absolutely are revolted by putting waste in the ground. I hope people are not snickering, because you know something, Toronto is from First Nation to all nations. These are the first people that were here 11,000 years ago, and if there's any community that needs to be lifted up, it's them. But anyways, I was called to the Richmond landfill, which was going to be expanded by the Mohawks, and I did write a couple of letters to the province. I'm very pleased to see that that didn't get the expansion certificate. So anyways, how we're going to pay for it is this. It's about $150 a ton, they say. I believe the price will continue to come down, especially if we have one in Toronto. Green bin is $140 a ton. I think that whatever it costs to build, we're going to have revenue back, and they estimate about $200 million a year. And in that way, we will be able to, that's how we'll pay for building it. And then as we sell the heat and the light through, whether it's Ontario Hydro or however, this is actually a revenue stream for the city. And I feel like everything, whenever someone says, how are you going to pay for it? This is what you need to know. Don't believe the message that you've been given, that we're poor and it's everybody else's fault. We got to blame the province and the federal government and the cap-in-hand routine. We need to start thinking, what can we do as a city? And we can spend our money in a much better way. So it's a question of priorities.
So we've got time on the clock for 2 more questions from the panel, and we'll give you 2 minutes for just any closing remarks after that.